Good day. I hope that you are enjoying this Monday, and I just wanted to come to you in a form of a video instead of reading, and I want to make this a little more personal. So here we go. The word of the day today is prayer, or to pray. And the first thing I want to point out is that prayer is the heartbeat of our faith as Christians. And prayer is more than just a spiritual practice. It represents the sacred rhythm that keeps our souls alive and connected to the heart of God. We see this in the book of James, where James chapter 5, he reminds us that prayer is not reserved for perfect moments or special places. It meets us in both the ordinary and the extraordinary, in pain and praise, in sickness and strength. You know, when life is painful, we're invited to pray. That's almost like a automatic thing. Well, when life blesses us, we want to be encouraged to sing because that is a form of prayer too. When life weakens us, we are called to gather, not to scatter, and believe together. That is the purpose of community. In every season, prayer serves as the bridges between our needs and God's power. Now, what is prayer? What is it like really? Is it simply bowing our head and closing our eyes, or bending our knees, or facing to the east? I don't think that it's not those things, but I think that it's far more than those things. At its core, prayer is a conversation with God. It's about communication. It's not about using fancy words and formal phrases to sound smart or intelligent. It's about being honest, being authentic, uh, and our trust and surrender to God. Uh, Mahatma Gandhi, he once said, prayer is not asking, it's a longing of the soul. True prayer is not merely about presenting requests. It's about expressing our hearts, our gratitude, and our dependence on the one, God, who loves us beyond measure. You see, prayer is how we align ourselves with God. If we can agree that communication is important as we see it with humanity and one another, then how much more is communication with our God, praying, effective and necessary for our being day to day? While it doesn't always change our circumstances from an immediate standpoint, at least that we can see, it always transforms us in the process of the prayer being answered. It opens our eyes to grace, it turns our ears to hope, and strengthens our hearts with peace that surpasses all understanding. James is talking to us about in this chapter 5 about a believing prayer, about being be living, right? Taking the opportunity to engage in the answer to our prayer. The kind of prayer that trusts God's character, even when it doesn't seem like we're getting immediate results. This type of prayer, believing prayer, believes that God is not only able, but also willing to guide us and willing to work things out for our good. Scripture tells us that. It invites others into a journey, reminding us that prayer is a shared experience of faith rather than solitary act of desperation. So there is prayer that is single, right, for just us. There is prayer that is collective when two or three are gathered together. And then there's prayer that is corporate when we are in a small group. Um, Healing through prayer is not always physical. You know, it can also move and impact us emotionally, relationally, mentally, and spiritually. Sometimes God restores our health, other times He restores our peace. In every case, prayer lifts us back up through the strength and presence of Jesus the Christ. Here's a few things to just reflect on as I wrap this up. The first thing is ask yourself, is your prayer your first response or is it your last resort? The second thing to consider is, what does believing prayer mean to you? How do you believe what you pray to God for? And then the third thing is, who can you lift up in prayer this week? And how can you become a source of strength and faith for others through the simple act of a powerful, meaningful, authentic prayer? Prayer is not an obligation, it's an invitation. It is the quiet space where heaven meets our humanity, allowing us to trade anxiety for peace and burdens for rest. Whether whispered in the dark or sung in the light, prayer reminds us that we are never alone. God is always listening, always loving, and always ready to lift us up. The word of the day is prayer. Invest some time in prayer. God be with you.